Thanks for staying with us. I'm Bill O'Reilly in a Weekdays with Bernie segment. Tonight, the media has capitalized big time on the Martin Zimmerman case. In the last 48 hours, many people have said many things.
I think this is, for many Americans, George, just another piece of evidence of the incontrovertible contempt that this nation often shows and displays for black men. Something is wrong when adults can racially profile children. Trayvon Martin was a child, racially profiled and gunned down.
And joining us now from North Carolina, our pal Bernard Goldberg has been watching the media coverage. So that exchange caught your attention, Bernie. Why?
Yeah, and I wrote about it on my website. What caught my attention and what bothers me as a journalist, not as a commentator with opinions, but as a newsman, is that George Stephanopoulos sat there like a potted plant and didn't do anything that even resembles challenging what Travis Smiley said. Now, you know, Stephanopoulos, who was practicing good racial manners, could have easily said, you know, every weekend in Chicago, those people aren't getting killed by the Ku Klux Klan. They're getting killed by other black people. Black thugs are killing black people. So if you want to talk about contempt that people have for black men, you know, the most contempt that people have for black men are other black men who have contempt. And then the second thing is that on Face the Nation with Bob Schieffer, the head of the NAACP, Ben Jealous, said, too many people in our country use color as grounds for suspicion. He's absolutely right. But Bob Schieffer, who's also practicing good racial manners, could have said, well, isn't it possible, Mr. Jealous, that the reason that this suspicion based on color is because, I'm sorry to say this, black men commit a disproportionate amount of crime in this country. But no, he couldn't say it because if you're white, you don't say anything like that to a black person because you might get called names. Then just a few minutes ago on this program, Jacques de Graaf, the Reverend Jacques de Graaf, says black children are in danger. And you're the only one who said, yeah, they're in danger. They're in danger because other black children are hurting them and killing them. 92% of all the black people in this country who get killed are killed by other black people. But we are being led to believe that it's hunting season on black people. And I think the way journalists, most of them, have been treating this is a soft kind of liberal racism.
I think it's fear. I just think it's flat out, they're just afraid. They're afraid, Bernie.
Well, they're afraid, but you know what that amounts to? We have to treat black civil rights leaders like hothouse flowers.
But it's always been that way. It's always been that way. The race hustlers, the people who exploited. It's a kind of liberal racism. It's a kind of liberal racism. But it's more than that, and I want people to understand this. It's bad business for establishment journalists to get on the wrong side of the minority community. It's simply bad for them to do it. So they're not going to do it. That's what the no-spin zone is all about.
Then fine. Then I'm going to say things that you're not supposed to say out loud and that you're not supposed to say in public. You want to, you know, they paint this picture of white people hunting black people. Here's an inconvenient fact. Anytime there's interracial crime, there's an overwhelming chance that the victim is going to be white and that the criminal is going to be black. But you're not going to hear Jacques de Graaf say that. You're not going to hear Al Sharpton say that. You're not going to hear Tavis Smiley say that.
Bernie, do you have a stat on that? We'll have it tomorrow. I mean, I'm catching off guard.
What I said is absolutely correct.
All right. And in the talking points tomorrow, I'm going to address what Bernie just said. And
can I make one other quick point, Bill?
Sure.
This is the most despicable headline I have ever seen. It was in today's Daily News in New York City. And it says, it's a picture of a hood, a hoodie with nobody in it, and, as you can see, and it says, when will it end? Feeding into the narrative, feeding into the damn narrative that white people are out there hunting down black people, that it's still 1955 in Mississippi. And then they have a whole list of innocent black people who were killed by white people. The first name is Emmett Till. Emmett Till was 14 years old and got shot in the head.
I got to go. Here, I'm going to give everybody it. Emmett Till is written about.
What does he have to do with George Zimmerman? What do the people who killed Emmett Till have to do with George Zimmerman?
And to illustrate your point, I write extensively about Emmett Till and killing Kennedy, because it was one of the motivating factors for Bobby Kennedy to do what he did. So I got to go. But if you want to know about Emmett Till and what Bernie is saying, pick up Killing Kennedy. There's a big chapter there on Emmett Till.